Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And if you have found me in North America, then good job with getting your clocks changed for those of you who do, and finding me at the new to you time. If you're here, please do say hello in the comments. Feel free to ask any questions or comment on what I'm doing, make suggestions. I'm open to it all. And yeah, let's get started. So later this week, Stampin' Up! Demonstrators are going to be participating in the annual global conference called On Stage. And as it has been the last year or so, it's been on stage at home since traveling is not advised, certainly difficult internationally. And people who registered for On Stage got a stamp set that will be in the upcoming January to June mini catalog, and I'm going to show it to you today. It's called In the Moment. It's another in the series of really nice line art drawings, and I really like this one a bit more than I have some of the others. I don't have the whole series because they just don't always do it for me, but this one I'm glad I've got. So it's got three women. You don't actually see them full on, but doing restful, relaxing things, and in sentiments to go along with that. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax, which is something I often tell my husband that he should do more of. And you're always so good to others, be good to yourself too. And then there's also you're in my thoughts. I am going to be doing some stamping and coloring today, and I have chosen to use the woman curled up on her bed with her dog reading. That's one of my favorite things to do, although if I have the dog, it's on the couch and not my bed. He's not allowed in the bedroom. And so sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. So I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white cardstock. And I know I've said this before, but I have a whole bunch of it that I've just cut down into quarter sheets, ready to go for stamping on. I also have almost an entire pack cut down, half a centimeter, or in North America it would be a 1/4 inch smaller, to use as a first layer, either inside a card or as a layer on the card front, and then 2 steps down as well. And I just find those both really useful to have just cut up, ready to go. I use them all the time when I'm stamping. This stamp is just big enough. I like to bring the pad to the stamp to get good coverage. And I'm just going to stamp it on this side of this piece of basic white. Hello, Gladys. Thanks for joining me today. How's the time change hitting you in Western Michigan? Clean off my stamp. Give this a moment to dry just a touch. And today I'm going to be coloring with watercolor pencils. I love to color with my Stampin' Blends alcohol inks, but I just want it to be a little bit softer, I think. So I'm going to pull out a couple of colors to use. Stampin' Up! Has 2 color assortments, and I've got mine all intertwinkled here. Plus I do have a couple from some Paper Pumpkin kits. We've gotten some. So for instance, I've got 2 Granny Apple Greens and 2 Flirty Flamingos, because some of them came in a paper pumpkin kit. So there's that. This is Night of Navy. My purple. That's Gorgeous Grape, Real Red. What did I decide I was doing here? I want the Balmy Blue. Unfortunately, I have to read those very carefully because they're basically the same color at the end. So one's Balmy Blue and one's Night of Navy. The tips look different, but if you just go by the colors at the end of the pencils, it's trouble. I'm just gonna do these two. You're gonna be like, why are you even bothering to pull them out when you've got so many? Espresso. I did give some thought to this. Yeah, I think Daffodil Delight. I think that's what I need. Okay, let's go back in and grab some more. So I'm going to be adding color with the colored pencils. I like the colored pencils because it makes a very soft coloring. The Stampin' Blends, the alcohol ink markers, can be quite bold even when they're light colors. This can be a little bit softer, and I'm going to use one of our blender pens. They're like markers, but they have a clear fluid in them, and it helps when I layer different colors on, as you'll see. It just helps again blend it and make it less. Helps blend those lines you get from pencils. Anyway, we'll get started, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to put her in some jeans. I'm starting with my Balmy Blue. And I'm going to go really all over. But not be really worked up about not leaving any white space. So I've added blue. And I'm going to say there's some jeans showing back in there as well. And now I'm going to come in with some Night of Navy, and I'm going to add a little bit of darker blue to bits of it. Yeah, I remember when I was in Ann Arbor for 5 years and daylight saving time would end, and yes, it would be the start of the dark period. Add a little bit. Okay, and just to give you an idea, since you're all right here with me at the moment, bringing in my blender pen, and I'm going to start in the center where I have just the lighter color. I'm going to bring this up here. Maybe you can see a little better as I do. You can see the lines from the pencil, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see as I blend that will smooth itself out. I don't know what is in the pens to begin with. I do have a refill recipe that I got off the interwebs, and it has glycerin, distilled water, and just a little pinch of rubbing alcohol. And a little goes a long way. And when you're blender pen starts to dry out, you can pull out this nib. If you take some tweezers or pliers or even your fingertips, you can just pull that nib out and drip drop this fluid in there, and it re-wets it, and you're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up so you can see it again. Trying to get a good balance of closeness and light. And then to clean off your blender pen, you just run it on your scrap paper, grid paper. Make sure there's no color in it. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do the skin areas now. Whoops, I know what I didn't do. I didn't get the inside of the pants legs. So let me just add a little blue there and there. I'm using the darker, the Night of Navy, because obviously it's shadowed in there. There we go. And now I don't have a good pencil for skin tone per se, so I'm going to do a base layer of some Flirty Flamingo. And then I'm going to come back in with some Daffodil Delight. And when I blend those together, make sure that's clean, I find it works really pretty well. To give the impression of a Caucasian skin tone. Especially as I add some other colors. Okay, I think I want the blanket she's curled up in to be Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to do a good amount of that color. And I am conscious of trying to keep my lines going the same direction. Because while the blender does take out a lot of it, it doesn't get rid of all of it. So I do want it to not look too messy by going scribbling in lots of different directions. We are back to very spring-like weather here today. It's on the cooler side and kind of steady light rain so far this morning, which is good. Rain is good here. We don't need droughts. Okay, so there's the blanket. I'm gonna do some with the pup. And this one is labeled Crushed Curry, so I'm going to do that as a base color all over. Okay, so their ear. And oh, good morning, Beverly. This is the brand new, yet to be released in the moment stamp set. This is from the upcoming January to June mini catalog. Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who registered for Onstage this week got this as part of their Onstage swag box if they ordered one of those. So I am pleased to be able to pull that out and show you today. And now I'm going to go over that crushed curry with a little bit of early espresso, and I'm going to do that kind of lightly. And I'm not doing it on the muzzle where it's clearly intended to be kind of two-tone. And now I'm going to come in with my blender pen and blend those two together, except again over the muzzle, which is lighter. And I'm going to come back in and add a little more early espresso to a couple places that I want to darken up a little bit, like where he's got some shading marks there, there. And places I know would naturally be a little shadowed, like under his chin, under his belly. Go ahead and blend that in just a little bit. I don't want to really take away that shading by blending it in too much, but just soften it a tiny little bit. Okay. So, again, I'll bring this up a little bit, see what you can see here. On the dog. There we go. And I can see that the hand and the dog kind of blend in together. So I'm going to add just a touch more pink on that hand. Face. And there, see if I can change the tone on that just a touch. Yeah, you don't want to scrub it the basic white cardstock too much with the blender pen, but I do like that it's easier to layer on the color. Okay. I want her mug to be a pop of real red. There we go. Do just a little blending on that just to make the look kind of consistent. There, you can see I got a lot to scribble out of that one. think for the bedding, I'm gonna go with Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to give something away a little bit here. This is how what I'm going to use to cut it out. And I'm giving it away because I want to kind of know about where I want to color to. And I am going to go beyond it because then I don't have to be worried about placing it exactly where I sort of sketched out that circle, but it gives me an idea of what I'm aiming towards. There we go. I'm going to do some blending on that and see if I need to come back in with some more. And yeah, and I'm going to take it a tone darker on the pillows. I've got Bermuda Bay. So it's same but different, but a darker tone. Do some blending on those. With that Bermuda Bay, I'm going to just come in and add a little bit where there's the wrinkles in the blanket. I'm just going to add a little bit of that Bermuda Bay to darken it up. I could add some more Coastal Cabana again, but since I've got the darker tone, we'll just go ahead with that. Now, let's do some last few things. Hair. Hair. I'm going to do a base of basic gray. And I'm going to add in, what are you? Some Cajun Craze. Yes, really. There we go. Let's try blending that. No Bermuda Bay or Coastal Cabana. There we go. I don't know if you can see. That wound up making a dark brown brunette color. I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave that there. Now, books and socks. Book and socks. I'm going to do some purple socks. Gorgeous grape here. Where's my Costa Cabana? When you get going, you can sometimes see these little spots that need just a touch of color in them. Okay, now let's blend our socks. And then how about a yellow book? Okay, and again, we're going to do some blending. I'll leave the pages white. And I think I'm going to leave the wall, the background there, white as well. I'm going to double check that by bringing in my dye. Yeah, and I think I like that, and you may see why in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I brought over my mini cut and emboss machine, hoping that all fits. Yep. Nope. Give that a bit of a trim. That will now fit. There it is. Yep. Okay. Now, what I want to do is stamp my sentiment. And I'm just double checking. I think we're going to get a nice clean spot there. I'm just holding it in place. Let that ink soak into the paper. And now bring my mini back in. shouldn't matter, but for some reason, because the brain wants to work this way, I have to have the sentiment right side up to get the die placed right. There we go. Okay, so that out of the way. Get those out of the way. So I'm going to bring in, I have a Flirty Flamingo card base. And this Flirty Flamingo and that Flirty Flamingo. I also have, I went ahead and made this double bow out of the, what is this, crinkled seam binding ribbon, which I will be honest with you, is about my least favorite ribbon, perhaps ever. Certainly of our current ribbons. The crinkle doesn't do it for me so much, and it's really staticky. I mean, look at that. I mean, from any time you touch it, it's really staticky. Anyway, it did make the bow quite easily, which was a good thing. I had a vision. Not sure it's working. So you know me and visions. I just got to keep playing with it till it works. Ugh. You see where I'm trying to go with this, right? It's just not quite working. So I think hang tight. Okay. I love that I'm just using scraps of paper and I can just try out my ideas and not worry about, am I wasting something that costs lots of money? Scraps of paper and a little bit of ink. That's all I'm doing. Okay, that's working better. But we need a pop of something in there. It's just too white. Still looking. Did you know that you can color any of the ribbon or twine or whatever you want? You can do it with Stampin' Write markers or the re-inkers for stamp pads, but the blends dry the fastest. So I don't have any type of Flirty Flamingo ribbon or twine, except now I actually do, because I can color it myself. And there are faster ways to do this, like so. When you don't care about getting your thumb inky, let me see if that's enough to get a bit of a bow. I know this is not fully dry, so I do want to be a little careful with it. I can see where I didn't quite get it all, so I'll add some more ink. trim that off. And I'm actually going to go hit it with my heat tool for just a moment. Just enough to keep it from smudging on all the white that's around here. There we go. So, just trying to decide if I want to cut down this layer or not. I think not. Okay, we're just going to get this done now. I like the liquid glue on this very textured piece. It gives me good adhesion, lets me slip it into place exactly on the card front. And I could have just embossed the front of the card, but I kind of like opening up and having it smooth. So I'm happy to add the extra layer for that. It also gave me the option of being able to wrap a ribbon around the layer without it showing on the inside. I think I wanted about there. Go. I'm going to do that with dimensionals once I locate them. Go. And bring in some glue dots. I'm folding this glue dot because the knot on there is pretty small. I'm going to smash that onto that glue dot. trim up some ends. See what we've got here. I'm pretty happy with that. I wish that matched the Flirty Flamingo a little bit better. So I'm still coming in. Look at this. This is Calypso, supposed to be Calypso Coral. And I'm just adding a layer of that over what was supposed to be Flirty Flamingo. And it just oranges it up enough to make it, can you see the difference between the two? I don't know if you can or not. I can. And I suppose that's what really matters, isn't it? Just darkens it and oranges it up enough that I feel like it's much more in line now with Flirty Flamingo than it was before. And I think maybe we'll do a little blend just to oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's much better. Oh, now it looks like Flirty Flamingo. Yay! That was really bugging me. Okay, well, there we go. That's my card for this week. Thank you for joining me. I will be back same time everywhere, same place, next week. If you are in Australia, you should know that there is a fantastic joining deal right now, where for $130 you can get the starter kit, which is filled with your choice of $235 worth of great Stampin' Up! Product. I have never seen them lower the cost of the starter kit. I've seen them add extras in there, but I've never seen them lower the cost of your outlay like they are right now. It's for the month of November. And I would love to have you join my team if you would like to. There is no obligation to do any type of demonstrator stuff beyond placing orders. If you if you decide not to spend enough to remain an active demonstrator, no problem. You can go back to being a customer at any point. But for the next 6 months, you get early access to the new mini catalog that's coming out. Demonstrators can order from it starting in December. It goes live to the public in January. There will also be the new annual catalog during that 6-month period that you will have early access to. You will be able to join in any demonstrator-only events, both that I offer, that my upline, Kylie Bertucci, #1 in Australia, offers, and Stampin' Up! Itself. And what? Oh, I know. After your great starter kit deal, you get 20% off any additional orders you place during the time that you are an active demonstrator. So it's win-win-win all the way around. If you'd like more information, you can contact me, Nancy, at nancysniftynotes.com, or on my website, nancysniftynotes.com. If you're in the Melbourne area, I'm offering in-person classes next week, Wednesday afternoon and Saturday afternoon. And there's information about that on my website as well. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again next week. So long for now.